It's my feel-good breakfast show.
What is he thinking about? Nobody knows, but it's epic. Oh, what a distinguished gentleman!
Graham, I swear.
No, you look lovely, man.
I look lovely.
You look lovely.
That's beautiful.
Man.
I'll take that. Thank you so much. You look rugged.
Thank you, man. That's rustic. What I was going for this morning.
Like a rusty...
Like a homeless person. That's my vibe.
We got to represent.
Buddy, I'm so excited. I got so excited on your behalf because I've had the opportunity to interview Liam Neeson before and I loved it. He gave me everything that I wanted. So I hope you got the same. But before we get into that, let's get into Memory. This film that has all the makings of a bit of a blockbuster compared to some of the films that Liam has done in recent times. This has got the makings of a heavy hitter.
Even in the past 3 weeks, I think it was, we had Blacklight, which wasn't great. But the thing is always, it's like, the dude's got an appetite. So whichever director's hands he's in, at least he's going to try and do the acting bit. He's not just going to like sign a check, you know, and run away with it or whatever. So great actor will always bring to what he can when whatever he's acting in. Memory, releasing today in South Africa, is the story again, surprise, surprise, in case you forgot. A hitman out for revenge.
Of course.
What more? Liam Neeson. However, there is a good twist in the tale to all of this, is that he's a guy who has his certain code that he likes to live by.
As every assassin does,
yeah.
Gotta have some
You don't kill rugged, rustic men or men who look lovely like Graham and JP. But that code is broken by his employer. So he says, look, he's out of the game, that's that. So then there's revenge from the one end of wanting the employer who is going to frame him for a hit that he refused to do. And then from the other end, there's this force of the FBI sandwiching him in between and him trying to vindicate himself and also redeem himself for a life that he doesn't necessarily agree with. Memory comes along when you find that this hitman has dementia and it's in his family. It's slowly but surely progressively making his job more and more difficult. What can he trust of his own perceptions? Which is like, if you're working alone as a hitman, obviously that's like the only thing you can rely on.
How terrifying is that premise?
It's nothing that we actually haven't seen before. Maybe you forgot. Remember Memento with Guy Pearce? Guy Pearce is in this too.
And he was the bad guy in that, which was the terrifying thing.
Was he? Is the question. Anyway, so let's talk about Memory. Like I said, same fodder that we used to as far as Liam Neeson movies go, action thriller, and he will definitely, like, you know, hit that notch in the belt for whatever you got to expect from that. But also Memory being this idea that Alzheimer's is inbound in its own force in the story. However, we can hear from the man himself.
Yay.
Yes, JP talking to Liam Neeson for the release of Memory this Friday. Not as intimidating a phone call as him.
I'm the bad man. Have been for a long time. Your shooter's losing his mind. They have to be punished. I want justice.
JP, all the way from South Africa.
Hi, JP.
Liam Neeson, in case anyone couldn't see that or bask in the glory. It's a great pleasure to be speaking with you today.
And likewise. Thank you.
Thank you very much. How does Memory, because how does it flip the sort of expectation of what people have of a Liam Neeson movie? It takes a bit of a detour, doesn't it?
If you mean by Liam Neeson movie that I do these action adventure things and kill a few bad guys or beat up some bad guys, it's certainly, Memory certainly has elements of that, but this character, what intrigued me to the whole film was this guy is suffering from early onset Alzheimer's. Dementia. That really gave me something to get my teeth into and do a certain amount of research. I do have a friend back home in Ireland who's suffering from dementia. It's sad to be in his company, and yet it's fascinating.
What's wrong?
To be sitting with your friend who kind of remembers you, but doesn't remember his living room.
Jeez.
It's sad, of course it is, but the actor part of my brain's going, wow, this is interesting. Look at
irresistible. Yeah.
Look at how he holds a cup, or look at how he reacts to something, you know. So I tried to steal some of that from him and subtly insert it into our film, you know.
Wow. Okay, so something really close to heart, of course.
We all know people who are suffering from dementia. If not in our immediate family, then our extended family. We all do. I think it's interesting in our film too that we see my character's brother.
Yes.
Who's in a care facility, and we see what lies ahead for Alex. Basically, this character who's just skin and bone and has barely any kind of memory left, doesn't know who he is, certainly doesn't know who my character is.
Have a talk.
Well,
No time for
and I think that's a really lovely scene. I really loved doing that, you know.
No, it was definitely a very touching moment. I felt that way too. But mechanically, interestingly as well, is that it also is helpful for, you know, a man who's dealing with collisions of forces from either side. The FBI, you've got the bad guys and everything like that. So it also does have a good sense of tension as well. I'm not, you know, saying it's all just in the realm of what we've been speaking about. So it's been great to chat with you, even if it was briefly. I hope that people go and enjoy this movie as they can as the Liam Neeson movie. But at the same time, it takes a new kind of line that is pretty pertinent, prescient to the time that we're talking about these kinds of subjects right now. Thank you.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
He gave you a little hug. That was a little hug. He gave you a little heart hug. Did you see
I
that?
thought it was lovely too.
Yeah, oh, he did think you were lovely, man.
Yeah, no, you could just see the dude's relief on his face because you were talking about a rule that
Yeah,
interviewers have.
you're never allowed to talk about Taken. So
Because it would be the millionth time some
exactly.
boo-boo has, I couldn't think of a meaner word, has put their cell phone to his mouth and said, please do a voicemail.
please
to the line."
do. You know, send you have this, but absolutely awesome, dude. Well done. This
Thank
movie
you.
looks phenomenal. The cast is crazy. Guy Pearce, Monica Bellucci, Harold Torres. You can catch it at New Metro, and we're going to incentivize you to get out there and explore the cinema this weekend. With a movie this good, you've got to do it. But let's make it even easier.